Face to Face, the program
that frontally discusses
political and social issues in Nigeria. The weekly program brought to you on Wednesday by 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by Prince Ewemade Concourse, powered by GCSDN.
Join us.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depends on the part of the continent that you're joining this program from today. Our topic for today is Labour Party of Nigeria, Are Things Falling Apart? We are going to be joined by the National Chairman of the Labour Party, Barrister Julius Abure, so he can address some of the lingering issues that has been going on in the political space within the Labour Party in Nigeria. We're also going to be joined by our brother, our comrade, and the Global Coordinator of GCSDN Worldwide, Dr. Frederick Adorige, is going to also be in the program here today. But before we continue, let me just highlight some of the crises and the judge. And also, we're going to have another person that's going to be joining the program. It's Chief MD, the Labour Party candidate for Edo State Governorship 2024, is also going to be part of this program for today. So we can discuss a little bit of the crisis rocking the Labour Party of Nigeria. But before I continue, let me just, according to the recent information we have, the national chairman of the Labour Party is Barrister Julius Abure, and this is the secretary, the national secretary, Farouk Ibrahim, the deputy national chairman, Comrade Ladi Ilahiya, and the deputy national chairman, Ayo Olurufemi, PhD, MNI, PRO. Those are the people that we recognize as the leadership, as the leaders of the party. While we're waiting for the national chairman to join the program, I'm going to bring the other two guests to the studio so they can also say a word, one or two things to our audience all over the world. Dr. Frederick, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Dr. Frederick, you are welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for bringing me in. Thank you. I'm here.
Chief MD, you are also welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a privilege as usual. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, Labour Party of Nigeria, Are Things Falling Apart? That is our discussion for today. However, we are waiting for the national chairman to join the program. And you understand very well that he's supposed to be here. We also understand that they'll be having some kind of crisis today at the tribunal. So let's give him like a few minutes to join us. However, the show must continue with or without him today. But I think it will be in his best interest to come and address Nigerians, especially the Nigerians in the diaspora. Dr. Frederick.
I greet you.
While we wait for the national chairman, what do you think about the crisis rocking the Labour Party of Nigeria today? What is your own opinion? What do you think?
Well, nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy. You can see what happened to the AAC Show Rest Party in 2019 when some persons tried to cause some internal anarchy within the party, and the idea is to hijack the party to the detriment of the ideologies and the expectations of the people. So what I see happening in the Labour Party now is an external factor of people who are intimidated by the rising profile of the political party and the person of Peter Obi. So they want to scatter the party, they want to disintegrate the party, they want to use it as a way of attacking the court case, because a house divided against itself cannot stand. They feel that if they cause some commotion within the house, they can be able to cause some disarray in the court process. So this is what I believe is going on, and it's quite very, very, very embarrassing, especially to people who are supporters of the Labour Party who may not necessarily be members of the party, but because of the fact that it's a third force and because of the massive support that Peter Obi gathers, I believe that it's an embarrassment to all of us that are watching what's going on. And I strongly believe that the persons, the Lamidi Papas, are people that are being sponsored to do what they are doing. I just hope that it's not true, but that is the allegation. So, in the face of all of this, I think the world, whether they are falling apart, cannot really say. Um, Let us watch how it goes. But I expected a situation where the person of Mr. Peter Obi could have called all the people together as a leader to say, look, how do we solve this problem? How do we solve this issue? Because he's somebody that is well respected within and outside the party. And before it got to this point, he should have called all of them together and said, look, how do we settle this issue? Instead of going to court and bringing all this embarrassment. But from the desperation of the Apapa guy, even if Peter B had done that, he cannot predict. Maybe he would not have agreed to. You understand? Because if somebody is working for somebody else, there must have been some kind of compensation to do what he's doing, and it could maybe might not have agreed. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. It's their party thing. It's a party thing. I'm not a member of the Labour Party, and let's see how it goes because the world is watching. Nigerians are watching. We saw what happened in the court today when Papa was booed out of the court. There were some altercations right there in the court, and it was really quite embarrassing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And somewhere I read that the national chairman, Barrister Julius Abure, has been sacked as the national chairman. But I wanted him to be here today. I wanted him to come and address that issue before the audience. And also, before we continue, I'm going to play a clip of, I think, the Apapa Lamidi led faction of the party.
Labour Party therefore warn all the obedient clandestinely parading themselves as LP member and other obedient who may be agitating that the president-elect should not be sworn in to have a rethink, as Labour Party will not support any unlawful means of agitation or change of government violently. We cannot throw the baby away with the bathwater. The same election brought in our candidate who won in the last general election. We have so many House of Assembly, senators, and House of Reps. What Peter Obi is crying for is not supported by the law. Our law provides that where an election is challenged, the winner will be sworn into the office and will continue to act in that capacity until the hearing and determination of the petition challenging the election. A refusal to swear in the president-elect as president will create a vacuum in the system. Which law above, from President Obasanjo to Yar'Adua to Jonathan to Buhari, this has remained the law and the system. Why should the position change now when the law has not been changed? Our law does not provide for interim president in the circumstance. The only time we had an interim president in Nigeria was Chief Ene Shonekon, which was a military stunt and not a constitutional procedure.
Chief MD.
Right.
Chief MD. As a member, as a card carry member of Labour Party Nigeria, under which platform that you are going to be contesting for the 2024 governorship election in Edo State. What is your take on the issue of the Lamidi faction with the Julius Abure faction? What is your understanding about the whole thing that is going on with them?
First point of correction, there is no faction or division between the two. One is the recognized Labour Party chairman, Labour Party structure, Labour Party people underneath Barrister Abure. The other is a group of terrorists who are trying to hijack the party, using every conniving means and being sponsored by APC to cause mayhem and confusion. From the very utterance of what the gentleman said, I don't know him, so I'll refer to him as a gentleman, not because he has acted like one or have any decency or decorum of being a gentleman, or has shown any essence of intelligence to be referred to as a gentleman. Just for the prefix of today, I'll refer to him as a gentleman. What he has said shows their intention. Their intention is not about the party, not about the mandate, not about this election, whereby our candidate, His Excellency Peter Obi, will basically mandate stolen. All it's about to cause confusion and mayhem, and their paymasters to be sworn in, and then forget the whole thing, as if it never happened. So I think it would be very wrong for us, both in the media, both in this political discussion arena, to refer to the terrorists as a fashion, or to refer to them as one kind of legitimate path struggling for the righteous deed of Labour Party. It would be carnal for us to even see them apart from what they are. They're terrorists. They're trying to hijack the party. There's a democratic process to this. If they feel they want Abure gone, they go to the neck, they table their complaint, and when there is time for the new Congress, they put up a candidate to challenge. You don't try to subvert the process by going to court. And I still strongly believe the court does not have a jurisdiction on how social enterprise run their affairs. The court has no power to suspend Abure. They have no power to suspend Abure. On what law? They can try to claim jurisdiction on that, but they have no law in their backing. The party has their system of how leaders are chosen. The court cannot now impose a leader on the party or choose a leader for the party. We're in a civilized world. We're in a kangaroo justice system. And it's a shame that Nigeria, with a country full of a lot of intelligent, intellectual people, we have judges that could be bought, morally, consciously depreciated, depleted, who violate the basic common law, the law to be heard, the law for the accused to stand. They're passing judgment already. On what ground have they passed the judgment to say Abure cannot lead the party, or Abure should be suspended? On what ground? Even though the accusation laid towards Abure in the court, Abure have not been charged or found guilty of any crime, or is only been accused by some aggrieved people. Accusation does not mean guilt. So what ground as the judge has to now suspend Abure? So that's the thing. So we cannot call the Lamidi or the Apapa people as anything but a terrorist group. A terrorist group always do the same thing. They try to hijack, impose, and take control of something that they cannot do in the right, proper way. That's what they're doing. They try to hijack and impose themselves on the party. That is wrong. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First of all, let me just correct some of the things you said. We call them terrorists because they've not been classified as terrorists. They are Nigerians like you and I, and they are also, from my understanding, they are also members of the Labour Party in Nigeria. Prior to the confusion or the altercation between the both sides, Lamidi Apapa, to my understanding, was one of the deputy national chairman of the Labour Party. That's my understanding. That's why it would have been really nice for Barrister Julius Abure to be here so he can set the record straight for Nigerians to hear directly from him. However, we are still waiting for him. There's no word from him if he's going to show up or not. But we both agreed, and this morning he assured me that he was going to be here on the program so he can also clarify some of the lingering issues surrounding the crisis rocking Labour Party in Nigeria. However, we are still waiting for him. And again, Lamide is not a terrorist. He's a member of he was a card-carrying member of Labour Party. I'm sure they have their disagreement, and whatever the disagreement is, I'm not a lawyer. You are not a lawyer. We cannot really, go further in explaining some of the things that is going on in the courts. I'm sure they have their case in court, and they will also have their date in court, so that the both sides can, sort out their differences, because the two of them are not bigger than Labour Party. Labour Party, before both of them, Labour Party was already in existence. Labour Party is a party that so many Nigerians, especially those in diaspora, they've come to embrace because of the principal, Peter Obi, who decamped into Labour Party. So the both of them should not use their reggae to destroy the blues of Peter Obi or the obedient movement worldwide. So, having said that, Dr. Frederick, do you think the current crisis rocking the Labour Party of Nigeria would have any effect in the outcome of the case at the tribunal?
Well, it's a very dicey situation at this point because the case is already in court. And the good thing about it is that in the petition, it is Peter Obi as an individual and Labour Party as a party. So I don't think that because Labour Party has some internal issues, then to now undermine the individuality of Peter Obi in the case. That is something that I see there. Secondly, I see the issue of communication within the Labour Party. Now, if you look at the short clip that you played here, the so-called publicity secretary, he used two words, which to me, just like Chief MD said, shows their intention. First, he called some persons obedience. I found that very, 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 very well. I'm not surprised. That's why I called him so-called publicity secretary. He called some persons obedience. That kind of language can only come from the opposition. Those are the languages you hear from APC and some people that don't like the Obi movement. Secondly, he said what Peter Obi is crying for. That was another word that he used. What Peter Obi is crying for. Peter Obi is not crying for something. Obi has gone to court. He was asked to go to court, and he went to court, which every responsible citizen of Nigeria should do. The other thing I want to say is, like I just said, is the issue of communication within the Labour Party matters a lot, because when you are silent to some issues, you send wrong signals. Take, for example, when Peter Obi was delayed. I don't want to use the word detained, because that word detained was also used by the opposition party. When he was delayed at the airport, the rumor was that, oh, he was detained and deported back to Nigeria. And you did not hear Labour Party, you did not hear Peter Obi say anything. They did not comment at that particular very sensitive time, because Peter Obi is not just an individual. He's the hope of millions of Nigerians. So our organization, the GCSDN, we planned a protest in the UK to ask the government why they detained him, because that was the narrative. Then we followed up with a letter to the government of the United Kingdom to tell us why he was detained. We just got a response. We wrote that letter based on the Freedom of Information Act 2000 of the United Kingdom. And we got a letter from them just 2 days ago. Maybe we should publish that letter today, in which they responded to us. But before we even wrote to them, it would have been nice if somebody like Peter Obi had come on air. I know he was on Arise TV not too long ago, but it was belated, kind of. If he had come on air to say, look, this was what happened, it took less than 20 minutes and they allowed me to go, he would not have given people like Femi Fani Kayode the opportunity to start to use propaganda to say that he was detained and deported back to Nigeria and all of that. Those are very sensitive things, and it demoralizes the people when they hear things like that. Secondly, when when this issue of this audio conversation with Pastor Oyedepo came up, it took some time before Peter Obi responded to it. And that time lapse, can cause some emotional damage to his followers. Now, you also see that one of the spokesperson, Barrister Okonkwo, right, already said that yes, Peter Obi spoke with Oyedepo. He already said it. you know, he confirmed that the audio was genuine. Then Peter B came later to say no. He tried to make it appear like he did not like he did not use the word war and all of that. But there ought to be some kind of synergy before the spokesperson will speak. He ought to have taken permission from Peter Obi that look, I want to get clarification before I talk. So it's like he said one thing and Peter B said another thing. So this is lack of communication in the system, because communication is very important and it has to be do with timing. You react immediately, not people are either too silent or people are saying things differently. So that is something that they should take into account, because
Consideration. Yeah.
into consideration, because when you say are things falling apart, when things like this begin to multiply, things may fall apart. But it is our hope that this case will favor Peter Obi and favor Nigerians, because this is not the Nigeria of our dream. What we are seeing today is not the Nigeria of our dream.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that clarification. MD, Chief MD, what's your take on that?
Well, just for quick clarification as regards to calling these Marundas terrorists. And I want to clarify that because these people are these so-called Labour Party members, as they stated or claim to be, where their actions and their words and their deed have not matched. Terrorism is defined in many ways. You can be a terrorist or terrorizing someone, doesn't necessarily until you blow yourself up or blow them up or anything. Your action of contravening the order of things is terrorism. Your actions of undermining the order of things is terrorism. It's an English language word. I didn't create it. I didn't define it like that. However, their actions today, they are terrorizing the party and the will of the people. These are not people chosen by anyone. They've imposed themselves on us, and that's terrorism. It's not me. It's dictionary defined context. Now, if anyone take offense of me calling them terrorists, well, let's take the word terrorist away. Let's focus on their action. Their action is terrorizing the citizen. Labour Party member, excuse me. As regards to their action and in reference to what my honorable brother is saying, you see, information delayed sometimes could create a lot of imbalance. And inadequate in responding to action also may cause confusion and shows some element of doubt or weakness. I personally feel like the whole Labour Party establishment should be openly and canvassing right now, both in the media, talking to all platform, everybody, claiming and stating their flag that they are the official Labour Party representative, and call these people out. Call Lamido or Lamidi or whatever it is, and the alleged fake publicity secretary guy, call them out. You must do public interviews. Right now, what they are banking on is to win in the court of public opinion. They know they have no court case. And if they can turn the public opinion against the official Labour Party, it's game over. That's when they'll be calling for settlement understanding. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You destroy them. And in this case, we have to destroy them, their capacity, their capability, and expose them for who they are. It's as simple as that. We need to engage from the Labour Party chairman, the publicity secretary, the youth leader, the organizing secretary, the general secretary. They need to be on the platform, the news outlet, Twitter, everywhere, stating the fact. Not conjecture, not opinion, stating the fact and stating their claim. They are the official party. They cannot rely on Peter Obi rescuing them on this part. This is not the responsibility of PO to do. This is the responsibility of the official party. They must fight. They must fight and fight for what is right. Nobody is saying Abure is a saint. Nobody is saying the official party is even kosher or they're perfect. But what we are saying, there's a due process. And we must follow the due process. There's a due process of appointing an official. There's a due process of removing an official. There's a due process of appointing a chairman. There's a due process of removing a chairman. And that must be observed. And the court has no jurisprudence over that. They cannot surpass that. We have a constitution. The party have a constitution. The court should have referred back to the constitution of the party to follow the process and the mandate of our constitution to remove or to instate a leader. The court has no power to suspend a leader based on accusation that has not been convicted of. That is wrong. I yield.
Thank you so much. Just to do a quick recap on what you just said, may mention now. If we look at the previous court cases between two factions, especially in the PDP and the APC, I am of the opinion that the court does have jurisdiction to adjudicate or to say the both party should maintain status quo until the case is determined. Like the case of Oshomole, for example, the case of the former chairman Oyegu from Edo State, and also the case of the PDP chairman. The court they have the jurisdiction to determine, to say if there's infighting between two political, between the party, two faction, they will say, okay, both of you step aside, nobody should go to the secretariat until the court comes out with their own verdict. But I think this is also similar. But however,
no,
from what I understand, I'm coming, I'll give you time. From what I understand is, Abure was not duly served. It was not duly served, and they didn't give him the opportunity to come before the court and defend himself before that case, the court case was decided, the first one. So, but I don't really want to go into that because I'm not a lawyer, like I said, and I'm sure you are not a lawyer as well. But just because you made mention of it, that's why I just wanted to, put some clarification to that. But
your clarification is wrong. Can I just clarify?
No, it is not. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, can I simplify it?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you use the similarity of infighting between two parties in a party, that's a different fight. The fight was who is the legitimate chairman, whether a conduct of an election.
No, it's similar. If you follow Adams Oshomole case and the one of Oyegu, is similar. There's no difference. It's similar. They came up, they went to court, they took him, they kicked Oshomole out, and before you knew it, then the other faction took over. It's similar before they called for Congress.
That was a party trying to kick. That was a party trying to.
Yeah, but this is the same thing. Lamidi Papa is a member of Labour Party. He is a member of Labour Party. Prior to the election, he was a member of Labour Party. I don't know about Lamidi, but from my information, he is a member of Labour Party.
For purpose of clarity, it's not the party.
Prince, let him express himself.
It's not the party kicking Abure out. It's not the party having a fight with Abure. In those cases, it was the party having a fight with the chairman. But in this case, these are individuals, agreed they are members of the party, going beyond the jurisprudence of the constitution of the party, imposing themselves as the leader of the party. There's the difference. That is the difference in this case. And then going beyond that to court. Not going to court on behalf of the party, they're going to court on behalf of themselves, saying there is a crime. Now, if there's a crime that is committed within the party, the onus is the party legal representative that will go to court. They will go to INEC, to NEC, and go to court find it prosecutable, not individual. I cannot take you to court without first of all going through the proper channel. You report your crime, your evidence to the party. Then the party has the jurisprudence to look at the evidence and then go to the chairman and say, these are the evidence against you. You either step aside or we take you to court. And that is how the process is. We cannot say we are trying to be balanced in the face of foolishness. I'm not against Apapa Lamido or what his name Andy. I'm not against them as a person. I don't know them at all. But we must follow a due process. If we allow this to stand, tomorrow it will happen again and it will keep happening. Because somebody else will rise and say, I challenge this chairman and go to court, I will remove him and impose myself. Why do we have NEC? Why do we have the constitution on how a chairman is selected? Why? What is the good of that constitution? We have a process. As terrible or as good as we think.
Thank you. I have to stop you there so that we can focus on the main issue for today, because we really are almost running out of time. And unfortunately, Barrister Julius Abure, the national chairman of Labour Party, is not yet present, and there's no word from him. Don't know what's going on. His phone has been off. I've been calling the number. It's been off, so I really don't know what's going on. I've tried to reach the PA as well, and there's no response. They just messaged me now that they are in a meeting. That's the only response I got back from the PA. What do you think, Chief MD? Are things falling apart in Labour Party?
No, they're not. I'm a proud Labour Party person and also an obedient. Things are not falling apart. What we have are marauders, intruders, confusionists, and definitely, in my own terms, terrorists who are trying to hijack a party that legitimately won an election and trying to redress and get a redress in the court for the mandate to be instated. And we've seen what their so-called publicity secretary of this terrorist group is saying. They're showing their hands. They are against the court, going to court to fight for the mandate. They're against it. They're against people asking for redress. They're calling the obedient people who voted, who donated. I personally raised tons of money. A lot of people donated and raised money. They're calling them idiots, idiots. How can you tell me those people represent Labour Party or the obedient movement? We are not in disarray. Things are not falling apart in Labour. Let's call a spade a spade. We are being challenged by a group of terrorists, being sponsored by the opposition to destroy and tear us apart. And we will overcome them by the grace of God.
Thank you. Dr. Frederick.
Yeah.
Do you think there's someone behind Lamidi Apapa in order to destroy Labour Party? In your own opinion?
I perceive that something that happened during NSAS may happen very soon. It's just my perception. I might be wrong. During the NSAS, the government people, they started to hire street urchins to fight the protesters, people that are suffering, attacking their co-sufferers. They gave them sticks, they gave them tramadol to drink, India to smoke, sticks to carry to attack fellow Nigerians. And they are the same people that are still suffering, So I see a situation where you see what they did to Showoreto when he was going to court. They were attacking him, destroying his vehicle. Before you know it, the same people that are sponsoring this Apapa now may come up with another tactics of attacking, Obi and the supporters in court or somewhere else. So we should watch out for this because these are security issues and it might get out of hand. From what I saw, the video I saw in court today when Apapa was booed, they might want to go and re-strategize, and their sponsors may come up with the idea of physical attack. And these are things that happen. So as security people, we are very sensitive about things like this, and I perceive that this may happen very soon, and it may further cause some anarchy within the party. But I really wish that Peter Obi can step in at a time like this, call the factions together. And Chief MD said we should not use the word faction, but the truth is that they are already in court, so we cannot run away from the fact that there are some people that are disgruntled already. So that makes it appear like a faction. But anyway, it is the court that will decide all of that. But what I perceive strongly is that the other group, their purpose group, they may begin to employ new strategy, and it could be violent. That is what I perceive.
Thank you so much. We have a comment here. Let me just check. I think we have one or two comments on the comment session. Rachel Osazua, good afternoon, Mr. Frederick, and hello, everyone. Hello to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Chief MD, what is the
Yes,
way
sir.
forward for Labour Party, and do you think the outcome from the tribunal will be in favor of the party?
I will pray so, but Nigeria has not shown any hope of decency, of people, of value, of integrity, of decency. People who call themselves professors, back in the days when you hear somebody or see somebody who's a professor, you automatically attach significant high value of honor and integrity to them. When you hear somebody is a judge, it's automatically attached. You equate them to the level of priesthood. But look at the last election. Professors rigging election for somebody we cannot determine if he even attend primary school. Judges passing law, taking judgment, whereby there's no clarity of law on the foundation of law which they stand. I would hope that at the end of the day, that decency, integrity, honor, and the greatest of all, the pledge of allegiance to Nigeria, not to individual person who can buy their moral conscience with dollars or pounds or naira, that their pledge is to the one Nigeria. Their allegiance is to one Nigeria. They will rise above their greediness and their self-indulgence and their failed moral consciousness and think first of Nigeria, the greater good Nigeria, and pass a judgment. Now, if the evidence shows, if the true evidence shows that PO lost, the whole Nigeria will accept it. If true evidence show PO lost. But if there's an iota of doubt, and there are evidence out there that PO won, and the judge stood in the way of righteous Nigerians, crying for change, begging for change, may God be their judge. That's all I can say about that.
Thank you so much. Dr. Frederick,
Yes.
as a security expert, and I know you're very much aware with security situation in Nigeria, nothing happened in Nigeria without you knowing. There are calls for interim government. How do you see that?
Well, it is not everything that happens in Nigeria that I know, because the Nigeria now is not even big. It's not bigger than Nigerians, because there are new surprises. Events are overtaking events. Nigeria is a big news market. There's a news market there. Anyway, talking about interim government, I believe that, well, we all know it's not constitutional, but what I find very painful in our Nigerian constitution is this idea of swearing people into office when serious matters as the election petitions are in court. It's quite embarrassing. It's a national embarrassment when countries like Ghana and Kenya can do all of that under 30 days. We now you now swear somebody into office, and the person is now using the apparatus of state to fight the opposition. This is going with a presidential jet, using the money, everything of the state. No. It's antithetic to democracy. So that is something that I believe that the 10th National Assembly should strongly address. They should review that aspect of the constitution, that nobody should be sworn into office, when the case is in court. And there should be a time frame. The time frame of 180 days plus is too much. They should maximum 30 days. after results are announced. That is why I see there. The issue of interim government, when situations gets bad, something has to give way for the country to move on. I don't know why, but I perceive strongly in my spirit that Peter Obi, Tinubu will not be a president in Nigeria because the odds, too many odds are there against him. But let's see how it goes. I'm looking forward to the campaign of Chief MD. I'm seeing you for the first time, and I hope that I wish you well. I'm looking forward to your campaign because Prince just mentioned your gubernatorial aspiration. I wish you well, and I hope that you will get a lady as your running mate because I am very gender sensitive. Let us begin to empower our women. Um, that is all I can say for now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frederick. Chief MD, what's your take on the
Yes,
issue of the call for interim government?
I think it's a shame. It's a shame for us to for that fall on that level of grace. Let me use the word grace loosely. It's a shame that Nigeria, with all our capacity, we cannot resolve this within 2 weeks, let alone 30 days, let alone 100 and something days. And I also think it's a shame that we're going to swear in somebody and then expect the fight to be fair. Where is justice? He can easily get sworn in today. Look at the justice, the Supreme Court judges who may not be on his favor, and fire them and pay them off and pack the court with the people he knows will dance to his tune. He can do that while the case is going on, and nothing can stop him. That is just a shame. I hope that decency prevail. And to my honorable friend, wishing me well in my campaign, I really love that. But I also hope you're going to support my campaign because Edo State, let me just make it clear, Edo State need and represent people like us, both living in the diaspora and both living at home. Like I always said, part of my vision, my core of running, is to make it clear to people that the next generation and the next generation and generation to come must have sense of belonging to the state of origin they come from. Because some of you that live abroad like yourself, your kid, if you allow them to spend 5 years in UK, you don't take them to Nigeria, to your village, to your town, to your state to live. They're just good as known as foreigners. If they grow up there and have children, your grandkids. But the greatest thing that I represent is the vision. Like my grandfather moved from his village to another village. My father moved from Edo State to Lagos. I moved from Lagos to UK and back to Nigeria. That one day, my kids, my grandkids, your grandkids can come back to a state like Edo State and say, I belong. I am part of this fiber. This is home, my ancestral home, and I'm here to contribute and fight for what is good and what is righteous. And I will hope you will support my candidacy. And like the women situation you said, I will consider
Chief
credible
MD,
woman.
Chief MD, I might have to cut you short there because if I give you the time,
No,
you will continue to to sell and unveil your manifesto. This is not a program for you to unveil your manifesto.
One question. No,
Okay,
I just want to answer one question.
Go ahead.
The question about a gender neutral, and I strongly believe in that. And the point is, I'm not going to put a woman on the ticket because I feel a woman is needed. I'm going to put a woman on the ticket because I know she's credible, she's capable, she's hardworking, she's loyal, and she can step in at any time as a governor. That's who I would consider as a woman. And if so be that I choose a woman or a man, it will be based on that criteria, not on party chosen or friendly chosen, on the criteria that she's credible, she's committed, she's loyal, and she can be a governor immediately. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we have one more question. Let's take that before we'll take your closing statement for today. Joseph. What Lamidi Papa is doing should not be a surprise to Labour Party. The opposition is very desperate and has the influence to do anything to keep the stolen mandate. I hope Peter Obi reclaim his mandate. Thank you for your contribution. Yeah. Dr. Frederick, your closing statement, please, because we are almost out of time, and our special guest, Barrister Julius Abure, is unfortunately not here today to speak to Nigerians on the issues surrounding the crisis in Labour Party. So your closing statement, please.
My closing statement is that Nigeria is bigger than every political party, and it's also bigger than the individual interests of some persons. Let us put Nigeria above our self-interest. Whether you are hired to hijack a party or you have your own mission, think Nigeria, put Nigeria first. Whoever is sponsoring you, is it doing the right thing? Whoever you are agitating to be sworn in, is it the right kind of person that Nigeria needs at this particular time? So all of these things is that we should search our conscience. That is my message to those people that are fighting the party. And finally, I just want to reemphasize that Peter Obi should be able to call all of them together and settle these things internally to avoid further crisis. So that is just what I want to say. And finally, to Chief MD, by extension, I am an Edo man. My wife is from Edo State, so my children are Edo. I schooled I did my HS in Edo College. I also graduated from Uniben, so I am strongly affiliated also by way of property to Edo State. So I am an Edo person by marriage and by extension. So we look forward to your campaign, and we really hope that people like you who have the minds of the community at heart will be on board to change the status quo. I wish you well, brother.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate that. I no doubt you're an Edu man. We're not going to debate that. You are a confirmed Edu man.
Thank you very much. So, Prince, that is my take on this.
Thank, thank you. Thank you so much. Chief MD, can you close it, please?
My closing remark is that we cannot give up on
Chief
hope.
MD.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Me? Right. We cannot give up on hope. Hope is a thing that's infinite. It has no limit and it has no boundaries. We should hope until hope stop hoping itself. And at this 11th hour, the very essence that gives us hope to, the very essence that we wake up, go to bed to, is that we hope tomorrow will be better than today and yesterday. For this reason, I'm hoping, I'm a very hopeful, optimistic person, that we will recover our mandate. However, if the court decide to join in this marauder of stealing this mandate, we should not give up the fight. We should carry on this fight to every other election that will happen until the next election, presidential election, and then win with a landslide. But however, we should not give up hope. And I appeal to everybody. The Lamidi and co will not win. Eventually, they will be disgraced, just like what happened to them in the court today. We will eventually win. We will eventually overcome. We are overcomers. We will eventually overcome, and victory is ours by the grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my wonderful brother, Chief MD. My fellow Nigerians, we have almost come to the end of today's program. It is unfortunately that we are unable to have our special guest, and I hope to be able to schedule another program for him again in the nearest future. However, the crisis rocking Labour Party of Nigeria today needs to be settled once and for all. because Labour Party is bigger than those who are trying to destroy Labour Party. Those who are fighting to destroy the party today will come and go, but the party, Labour Party as a party, will always remain. Labour Party has been around for decades. This is not the first time. This is the first time of them feeding a presidential candidate, but they had a governor of a person of Mimiko of Ondo State. So let's shove our differences aside. Let's work together to have a better Nigeria, the kind of Nigeria that Peter Gregory Obi dreamt of. A new Nigeria, that things will work for everyone irrespective of your tribe, political affiliation, or where you worship. Until next week, same time, remain blessed, my fellow Nigerians. Thank you, my guests.